So listen, this guy plays all around. He's been on Comedy Central. He is very funny. Give a warm Comedy Cabaret welcome to Mr. Mike Eagan.
Before I start my little portion of the show, I thought I would tell you a joke. It's the only clean joke I know, so I'm going to share it with you. You can take it home and share it with your family. Guy walks into a bar, he sees a beautiful woman, he wants to meet her. So he goes up to her and says, "My God, you're beautiful, what's your name?" She said, "My name is Carmen." He said, "Carmen, that's an unusual name. Is that a family name?" She said, "Oh, no, I gave that name to myself. It represents the two things I love most in the world, cars and men. Car men." She said, "What's your name?" He said, "BJ Tissenbeer." So there you go. It's the only thing one I got. I got another. This one I think is okay. I don't know. You may have a different opinion on this joke. A guy walks into a doctor's office, and the doctor says, "You're going to have something masturbated." He said, "Why?" He said, "I'm trying to examine you." No? Is that over the line? Okay, you got it. See what that? Which ones go? Which ones don't? Which ones stay? Which ones go? All right, so I got one for you. Oh, by the way, my birthday was yesterday. Wow, it's nice to have a school sample. Yeah, my birthday was yesterday. Thank you. My wife got me a puppy she always wanted. And, yeah, you got a dog now. It's a Chihuahua. He's here illegally. Little thing, apparently he dug under the wall. But he's here now. They say he has dyslexia. I didn't know dogs had dyslexia, but apparently they can. My dog, well, you know, most dogs will sit on your lap and lick your face. I really hated that at first. My wife, she always buys, last birthday she got me lingerie, so that was good. She said, "You don't like it?" I said, "Well," she said, "Well, I'll keep it for myself then." And that's how we celebrate birthdays. She does what she wants. I'm married 28 years, and not in a row. Well, you gotta take a break every once in a while, you know, before the first one to the gun wins. So you gotta take a break occasionally. She says things now. I've been married so long, I don't even say "what do you mean" anymore. She says, maybe you have a spouse who says things that are just off the wall. The other day she says, "It's a half a dozen of one or 6 of the other." Okay. I didn't want to tell her it's the same thing. She doesn't teach math. She's a school teacher, so I figured, you know, if she was teaching math, I should speak up. But she teaches English, and I just let it go at that. Why bother? She teaches 5th grade, and she says, she said something happened in the teacher's lounge. This is where the teachers go to bitch about their students. And apparently one of the teachers said something very unprofessional, and people didn't, you know, she said, everybody, you could, it was very quiet. She said, you can, I forget exactly how she worded it. If it comes back to me, I'll mention it. It's not important. Little of what she says usually is. I've never won an argument. 28 years I'm married, I've never won an argument. There was this one time we were arguing and she just stopped yelling and walked away, and I counted that as a tie. So, you know. There was another time I thought I wanted to fight, but I woke up in the morning and my back hurt because I was on the couch. And so I figured, you know, probably. She said of all the students that she has, she said the 5th grade boys are the worst. I don't know if you have a kid in 5th grade. She said the 5th grade boys are out of control. Their voices are getting taller, deeper. They're getting taller. They're getting hairier. They never had it. They're nuts. And am I the only one who punctuated that? They're nuts. Fine. Anyway, I was on the road and been traveling around a lot. I don't fly. I'm still afraid of flying. I rented a car to go on. I got one of those smart cars. You ever see those little things? They're great if you have no friends or luggage. And they have no pickup. I took this little smart car that he said, 53 miles to the gallon, but it has no power. I'm going up this hill in Kansas, the only one they have. And I got stuck on gum. So, but you go where the work is. I was going through Nebraska, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. My first gig was in Vegas, at the Tropicana, so I'm going through in Nebraska, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and 4-way stop sign. I figured I'll stop. There's probably a Nebraska state trooper waiting to nail my ass, you know? So I'm stopped at this stop sign somewhere in Nebraska at 2 o'clock in the morning, and apparently it's running season out there. And that's where the elk and the moose and I don't know. They all get together. They gotta have sex, you know? And it's important to them. And I was at the stop sign at 2 o'clock in the morning. I hear clop, 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 and I just first I grabbed the steering wheel, you know, and this big thud landed on top of it. Apparently, to a moose, they don't see well, and he probably thought it was, you know, a girlfriend or something. It's a little car. He just leaped right on top of the car. He had his legs clasped around the doors. I'm rocking back and forth. I'm thinking, how am I going to explain this to the insurance company? Yep. But I'm an animal lover, so I pulled out slowly. And I continued on my way. I got to Colorado and I smoked pot. It's the law out there. You have to. I don't need to smoke pot. I'm old-fashioned that way. You know, I'm an alcoholic. You know. But I forget what the hell. You know, do as the Romans do. I'm sure they smoked a doobie in their day. So I forget what the hell. So I took a couple of hits of this marijuana. You know, and they said, "Hold." I held it in, you know, until I got through Utah. And then I made it to Vegas. I was working at the Tropicana. And when people smoke marijuana, apparently everyone has different reactions to it. Some people get hungry, some people get horny. I had this desire to play miniature golf. I don't know why. I've never been a big fan of miniature golf, but I just had this urge. And luckily, as luck would have it, in the Tropicana where I was working, they had an indoor miniature golf course. Imagine my luck. So I figured, what the hell? So I'll play some miniature golf, and I'm playing miniature golf. And it was really good weed. There was a little person playing miniature golf. He wasn't a dwarf. He wasn't grumpy. He was a midget, which is okay. People say, "Oh, that's an offensive term." They don't mind being called midgets. They don't like Munchkin, I found out. Midgets is okay. I did not expect to see a midget playing miniature golf. Why would they? It's like a walk through the neighborhood for these guys. Well, I found out when you're really stoned, playing miniature golf and you see a midget, your first thought is, holy shit, I'm 10 feet tall. That's what I thought. I thought I had grown. I didn't think a midget would be playing miniature golf. You think the guy running the place could have said, dude, there's a midget on the third hole, heads up. He could have said something. And I said to the midget, I said, excuse me, Mr. Midget. It was awkward, but he turned right around. It wasn't like there were 30 midgets going, me? It's one midget. I said, you're a midget and you're playing miniature golf. Does this look normal to you? He said, do you have any more weed? Then he turned, he walked into a little schoolhouse, sat down. I think he gave me the finger. It's hard to tell. You know, they have those little fingers. It was a ways off, there was a windmill. I don't know. Anyway, I finished that gig. I did a show in Arizona. I did a show at Indian Reservation in Fort Huachuca, Arizona, and it was all Native Americans. Obviously, they had reservations. And, although I did see a guy scalping a ticket, which I thought, you know, the 21st century for that. But they have a great sense of humor. After the show, a Native American came up and said, you know why we hate snow? So, I don't know. He said, because it's white and it's on our land. One for the Indians. All right. That was a pretty good joke. But you know, you go where the work is and traveled around. I finished up the tour, as it were. I did a show in for 3 days in South Dakota. The Mount Rushmore Comedy Club. They have the Mount Rushmore Comedy Club. It's weird. Every night the same 4 faces. I thought they were stoned. Some took it for granted. So anyway, after the show was over, I called my wife to tell her I'd be coming home and give her time to get, you know, the guys the hell out of the house. And, he said it'd take about 3 days. So I finally drove. I must have put like 10,000 miles on my car. And I got home, and when I called her, she said, when you come home, you'll notice I had the bedroom painted. And I was like, lucky guy, you know, to be given a heads up by your wife. A lot of women do that to men. Notice anything new? No. We don't notice, ladies. Just tell us. You're going to be disappointed because we're not going to notice. I apologize for all of us, but we don't notice. It's not in our DNA. That's what it stands for. Don't notice anything. We don't notice. So she said, I had the bedroom painted. I said, what color? She said, taupe. I said, there's no need to name call. She said, no, taupe. It's a color. Any guy knows that. I said, any guy who lives with another guy. Maybe. So I got home and I looked at the bedroom that she had painted and taupe, and she got a hold of the bed, taupe dealer. I'll tell you the truth. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but taupe. I know this color. When I was a kid, my dad got us a puppy. He got it cheap because it was sick. And it was a bargain on my dad. Anyway, the dog was sick and he took a shit, and I had to clean it up. It was that color. Same color. Sick puppy shit brown. It's a real color, sick puppy shit brown. I didn't know. Sherwin Williams makes it. You have to ask for it, it's in the back. But they spell shit with a Y, so it looks British. But the walls were taupe. Damn, I didn't know what that. And so I looked at the bed and I said, why'd you put curtains around our bed? I had curtains all around the bottom of the bed. When I left, I didn't have any mirrors or any windows down there. So what's the purpose of having curtains? And she said, they're not curtains. I hate that. She goes, dust ruffles. I said, Gesundheit. I thought she sneezed. She said, dust ruffles is 2 words, asshole. Anyway, well, that's her nickname for me. She means it in the sweetest way. You're such an asshole. Anyway, and she said, dust ruffles. I don't know the theory behind dust ruffles. I guess if there's dust in the air, the ruffles just somehow attracts it. It's, dust ruffles. She bought them at a place called the Rag Shop. All the women are really grouchy there. I was just thinking out loud. Dust ruffles, and then she put shams. I guess they're called shams. She put shams. I said, where are the pillows? She said, they're under the shams. Of course they are. And then she put a roof on the bed. A roof on the bed. She got high and went to Raymore and Flanagan. I don't know. I said, why'd you put a roof on the bed? She goes, it's not a roof. Get with this. You know what this is, guys? A woman ever had this? Do this to you guys? It's 10 of these laying down. That's what that is. You're just too nice to flip you off. They give you all 10. Anyways, she bought this thing at Raymore and Flanagan's. I don't know what the hell you call it. What is it? No, that's another problem about it. I didn't even know I had a problem because I saw the commercial for Avatar. Are you getting up? Go to the bathroom? I thought that was what you're supposed to do. No, my wife appreciates it. But she's a typical, my wife's Italian, typical Italian woman, calm, slow to anger. I am up here telling jokes. My wife and I can argue, we're like the tortoise and the hare. She's like, zing, she's pissed off. I'm like, what's the matter? I don't know what I did. She gets mad at me for shit I'm probably going to do. I don't know what to do. But she's a hell of a cook, though. Oh, man. I was raised Irish, you know. At dinner time at my house, it was, my parents were passed out. So, first one to the refrigerator eats. My wife, she makes me all kinds of fancy foods and things that I never had as a kid. Vegetables. I mean, all kinds of stuff. She fed me something the other day. It just turned my ass into a rocket. I don't know what the hell it was. You ever take me and just take the dish and go to the bathroom and sit on the john and eat? That's what I did. Table for one. So I'm sitting there on the john and I'm reading Cosmopolitan magazine because you read what's there, you know? And there was Cosmo, so I'm reading Cosmo and I see this article, orgasms, are you getting your share? Turns out I'm not. I'm a little upset about that. But the article said that the man's orgasm and the woman's orgasm are totally different. I don't know if any of you guys give a shit, but the woman's orgasm starts in the toes, up to the thighs, the torso, the whole body encompasses in this brief bit of writhing passion. For a man, it's more regionalized. Our balls explode and we go to sleep. That's about it. But in the back of Cosmo, it listed 50 ways to turn them on. 50 ways to turn a man on. I can't wait to tell my wife there's one. I'm reading the 50 ways, and number 47 caught my eye. Primarily because she wouldn't do any of the first 46. But number 47, it was, tickle your testicles with her blush brush. A blush brush. It is. It's hard to fit in your wallet. Yeah, that's what it said. Tickle his testicles. Hey, say you're married a long time, right, ladies? You're on the phone with your girlfriend. He's watching the game. You know, boom. You don't even have to look at the old bastard anymore. There you go. All right. I'll hang up when you're done, all right? Anyway. I'm just saying. Use your imagination. You can play a little game. I'm Hitler. one final story. When I was a kid, yeah. You know, when I was growing up, I was what they call lower middle class. Remember that? There was such a thing as lower middle class. Now it's just fucking broke. But before that, between poverty and mediocrity was the lower middle class. And my best friend, his name was Jimmy King. It's not important, but that was his name. And he too was from a lower middle class family. And he always, his whole life, wanted his very own parrot. He loved birds and he wanted a parrot. But if they'd had a parrot, they would have had it for dinner. I mean, they just didn't have that kind of money. $400 for a parrot, no, we're Eagan. So what happened to my brother's rabbit. He was not hopping. Anyway, that's the one you grown on. That pun of all the shitty puns I've done. That's the one. Anyway, so my dad got a better job, and we moved to a higher class neighborhood. I lost contact with Jimmy King over the years, and I found him on Facebook. And it turns out he never got his parrot. He always wanted a parrot. He got married instead. And I don't equip it, you know, not the sense. Parrot being married. Either way, there's always somebody talking. So anyway, he never got a parrot, but he got a job. This job took him by bus, and every day he get off the bus to go home, you walk by the pet store and see these beautiful, elegant parrots for $400 or $500, knowing he could never afford it because he's married and he's got 3 kids already. And but one day as he's walking by, he saw a thing for a parrot. It was one day only for $25. $25 parrot, so he bought the parrot, obviously. And he took the parrot home, put it on a little stool, much like the one you're seeing here. And one of his kids came in, and the parrot looked at the kid and said, "Hey, you little son of a bitch." Well, he was upset. You know, he wasn't that upset. It wasn't one of his favorite kids or anything. Another kid walks in, and the parrot looks at the kid and said, "Hey, you little son of a bitch." And the boy said, "That's it, get rid of the parrot. We're not keeping the parrot because our kid's a son of a bitch." So he took the parrot back, and the owner said, "Sorry, there's no refunds. It's a $25 parrot. What do you want from me?" He says, "I can't keep the parrot. He keeps calling my kids a son of a bitch." I said, "Listen, the parrot says other things. You have to train the parrot." He says, "Next time he says something you don't like, all you got to do is just throw him in the freezer for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Will you beat people? Anyway, so he brings the parrot back and puts it on the stool, and his third kid walks in, which is good, or the joke would be over. And he says, "Hey, you little son of a bitch." Well, that was it. He grabs that parrot, he throws it into the freezer, and shuts the door. Comes back 10 minutes later, and there's the parrot just shivering, freezing. He says to the parrot, "Did you learn your lesson?" He said, "Yes, I did." "I did." And he said, "What the fuck did the chicken do?" Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.